Well, hello and welcome to this video. This is the tutorial for the basic spreadsheet that you probably just purchased, the 2024 basic spreadsheet. Now, just in case there's not any confusion here, I have three different versions of the 2024 spreadsheet. We've got the basic, the premium, and the creator. This will be the basic spreadsheet tutorial, which is the simplest form of the spreadsheet that I have. If you're looking for another tutorial, please go to my YouTube channel and look for those videos there. They should be pretty close to this one in order. So thank you so much for purchasing the spreadsheet. So let's jump in now and let me show you how to use this to get the most benefits out of this spreadsheet and to use the most features that I've built into this. So let's go there now. When you open your spreadsheet, it's going to look like this. So I'm going to go through the tabs really quickly and explain just what I'm showing you. So you have this. If you are a returning basic spreadsheet user, I'll put at the end of the video how to pull in all of last year's inventory into this spreadsheet very quickly so that you can get started and run with it. You shouldn't really need to watch this tutorial because the basic spreadsheet is pretty much identical to last year's. So on this first page, you'll notice the different ways that you can connect with me: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. As I do, I put out videos about reselling, but also about specifically this spreadsheet that are geared to helping you get the most out of Google Sheets, whether it's just Google Sheets in general or out of my spreadsheets. So if you follow me there, you'll get access to the videos that I'm posting time to time to keep you informed and up to date on this spreadsheet and future releases. Now, before I go through each of these tabs, I want to draw your attention to this FAQs page down below because there are going to come times when you may need help with your spreadsheet. So let's take a look at the FAQs page. And as you can imagine, it's all of the frequently asked questions that I get and that I've gotten over the course of this past year. So I won't read through all those. I'll let you do that yourself. If you come up with a situation in which you're needing help, feel free to go straight to this tab and look for the question that you may have there. And if it's there, great. I've got videos linked. I've got questions answered. Hopefully that will answer those questions for you so you don't have to take the extra step to reach out to me. You get your answer right away and you're not waiting on me to respond to you. If for some reason you have a situation that you're not seeing answered on the FAQ page, down here below you'll see this little blurb if you're still needing help. I won't go over that. You can send an email to me explaining what you're needing help with so that I can get back to you in a timely fashion. Let's go ahead and get started in the fun stuff now. Let's start with the inventory tab. This is where you're going to list all your items that are online. So as you list items, you'll put them in this tab of the spreadsheet. Really quickly here, you've got the listed date, the item title, the units. How many units do you have for that listing? The bin number. This is where you store the item. So if it's in your closet, if it's in bin A1, whatever it is, you create your own system, but that's where you put that here. So you have a quick way of pulling that up. This is the cost of the item that you bought. So if I'm selling the shirt and I picked it up at Goodwill for $4, I'm going to put that here. If you want to use this for any notes that you may have, you don't have to, but that's for you. XP stands for cross posting. So if you're using some kind of software to cross post to other platforms, you're not just on one, but maybe you're on 3 platforms. I use this to put a 1 in this column. If I've cross posted that item, then I know where I've left off. So that's all the columns that you're going to use here. Let's just say that I'm listing an item today. Today is 10/23. You don't have to hit the year. It'll automatically go there. I'm obviously recording this in 2023. When you're in 2024, that will obviously change the date to the year 2024. Okay, so I'm listing today, 10/23, and let's say I'm gonna list this men's Patagonia shirt. Okay, so there's the title. Again, you do what you want. You put in, if you wanna use like shorthand or abbreviations, you make this your own, whatever you can remember. This is your sheet. You don't have to do it like I do it. So if you have your own little preference or style, you do it that way. I'm going to put 1 for units because it's one item. And then the bin, I'm going to put it in, let's say it's going into bin B2. You'll notice these 2 green columns here. If it helps, you can hide them. You don't need to see them, but do not delete them because it will mess with the formula. It will mess with the format. And I'll show you why that's important in a second. Cost, let's say I paid $4 for this, and that's all I'll do. You'll notice that as I filled the inventory out, meaning items that I have actively listed that I have not sold yet. So that's what this tab is, items that I have in my inventory that I haven't sold. As I filled this out, you'll notice these started to populate. So total inventory, I've got 1 unit. I paid $4. So total cost of all my units in the inventory tab, and then the average cost of all the units here. You don't have to use this information. It's there for you if you want it, but you don't have to look at it if you don't want it. We'll go ahead and do another one for 1023. Let's say I got a women's Merrell shoes, pair of Merrell shoes, and let's say they're going in the closet, CL. And let's say I paid 10 bucks for them. Let me just say that you always need to put a number here in this units column. And if it's just one item, just put a 1. If you're selling, say, a bundle of like 2 shirts, you can put a 2 there, but there needs to be a number here because this 1 is used in the formulas. Now I've had people ask me before, do you list all the items in the inventory tab that you've listed? Or what if you got home from the thrift store and you bought a bunch of stuff, but you haven't listed them yet? You can go ahead and list items in here. So let's say these first 2 are listed because I've got the listed date in here. But let's say I've got a Patagonia hat and we'll say it's on the shelf and I paid $1 for it. And let's say I also bought a Sony PlayStation. 1 unit, let's say that's in the closet, and let's say I paid $25 for it. You can put them in here like this, and then when you go to list them online, put the date that you listed next to it. So if I listed this on November 1st, I could then go back and put that in. So you can do it that way too. Okay, so that's the inventory tab. Now let's move on to the sales tab. What happens when you make a sale in this spreadsheet? So we go over to the sales tab, and you'll see here a bunch of different columns. Year, the year you sold it in. That's always going to be 2024 on this sheet. The month, you can quickly just come in and choose the month that you sold it in. Days to sell is auto-calculated. You don't need to put any number in here. And as a matter of fact, if you put a number in here, it's going to mess with the formula. So just leave it blank and that will populate, and you'll see that in just a second. Sold date is the day that obviously you sold it. Listed date, you'll notice listed date, title, units bin, and cost of goods were all on the last tab. So we're going to transfer those over in just a second. And then you've got a bunch of different costs. Let's go ahead and pull an item in and say that it's sold. Let's pretend that this pair of women's Merrell shoes sold. I'm going to click from listed date all the way over to cost. And then I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go to the sales tab. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that in really quickly right there. You'll notice that it pastes in the format in this sheet that makes it really clean. So and doesn't mess with the format. So those 2 green bars were accounting for these 2 columns here. That's important why you don't delete those. And then we're going to simply just go back and fill in the rest of the information. So I'm going to put in the year 2024, and then let's say these sold in, even though I listed these on 10/23 of 23, they sold in January of the next year of 2024. And let's say they sold on 1/11/24. Now I'm going to put in the price that these sold for. So let's pretend they sold on eBay for $45 plus 12 shipping. So I'm going to put in 45 under sale price. Shipping collected is going to be what you receive from the buyer for shipping. And in this example, $12. Now, if you're doing free shipping, you're not going to put anything in this column because you did not collect any shipping. And then next, we're going to go into the eBay transaction or wherever you sold this item, and we're going to put in the rest of this information. Now, first, let me just say here, you've got your total fees column and you've got your profit and loss column. You'll notice that this starts to calculate as you enter in information, and that will continue to do so. So right now we only have a cost of 10 bucks. The total fees so far are only $10. That will change once we start to put in some more fees here. And then you'll see the profit adjust as we start to do that as well. Let's say that you go to ship these shoes and it costs you $11.47. So we're going to put that in here. You're going to go to eBay and find out how much your platform fee was. And with eBay, you'll have a platform fee and possibly a promoted listing fee if you used their ads to sell it. So let's say the platform fee was $3.50. We're going to put that in. And then let's say they sold promoted for $1.75. We'll put that in as well. Now I have a transaction fee in here for places like Mercari, Grailed, Depop, where they have transaction fees. If you happen to have that, you can put it in here. Okay, so For these shoes on this sale, my first sale of the year, according to the spreadsheet, I sold for $57 total, 45 plus 12. Here are all my fees associated with this sale. And then there's my profit, $30.28, which is awesome. Okay, so that's how we logged our sale. Now, since we sold these shoes, we no longer want them in our inventory because they're not active anymore. They're not in inventory. We sold them. So we're going to go back to inventory. I'm going to highlight this row and I'm going to right click and click delete. We're going to take them out of the inventory and you'll notice these numbers change once we did that. I want to go over some quick scenarios for different ways to log sales based on where you may sell an item. So let's go ahead and log another sale. Let's say I sold this Patagonia hat. I'm going to go copy, again, listed date to cost. We're going to go 2024. Let's say it sold in January again, sold on 1/22, and then I'm going to paste in the last line from the last tab. There it is, Patagonia hat. Now we're going to go ahead and put in the rest of the numbers on this transaction. Let's say it sold for $15 with free shipping. $15, no shipping collected because it was free shipping. Shipping cost we'll say was $4.88. Platform fee was $2, and this did not sell promoted, so we don't have a promoted fee. That gives us a profit of $7.12. Now let's go ahead and log this item right here real quick. We're going to put this in February. We'll say 2/1/24. Paste that in. Let's pretend this sold on Poshmark. Let's say it sold for $25. Now, there's a reason why I'm showing you a Poshmark sale, because Poshmark collects shipping from the buyer. You don't collect it. Poshmark collects it. And then Poshmark gives you the label. So for sites like Poshmark or possibly Mercari, where you're given a label, you don't collect the shipping. You do not put in here the shipping collected. You're only putting shipping collected in this column when you actually collect the shipping money and you actually pay out for the shipping label. Okay, so this sold on Poshmark, $25. I'm not gonna have a shipping cost, again, because Poshmark is giving me the label and I didn't pay out anything for shipping. Platform fee is 20% of Poshmark, so it's gonna be $5. And we don't have a promoted fee, we don't have a transaction fee because Poshmark is pretty simple. Okay, so that's how I logged a Poshmark sale, or sites that give you the label for you. You'll notice that when we filled in the numbers here in these green columns, that this days to sell populated, telling you how long it took for that item in days to sell, which is a great feature. It helps you kind of see like how quickly are my items moving. The only other thing I'll say, and this is another scenario where you may sell a bundle. So maybe a buyer reaches out and they buy 2 items on eBay from you and it's one transaction. How do you record that? In this case, what I do on my sheet is I do 1 item per line. I'm not gonna enter in all the information just because that would take a while, but let's pretend that I sold 2 items for $40. So I sold 2 shirts. So I would copy over those 2 transactions into this sales tab. Let's just say it was 2 men's polo shirts that I sold for $40 total. And let's say that I paid $3 for each of these, and those would have populated in when I pasted it. So we've got 2 polo shirts that I sold here, and we need to know, how do we log this sale in? The buyer paid $40 for the transaction. So I'm gonna put in $20 for each because they paid $20 for each shirt. If it's 16 and 24, you can do that. If it's 25 and 15, you just put in here the numbers that associate with that sale, as long as it adds up to what the sale was. So let's say total shipping was $8 for the transaction. I'm gonna split this up into 4 and 4. And then we're gonna go into platform fees. If these sold on eBay, let's say the total platform fee was $10, I'm gonna put 5 and 5. So I'm just gonna split it up between the 2. Let's say we had a promoted fee of $3. I'm gonna do $1.50, $1.50. And then the shipping cost, again, we're gonna split it up between the 2. If it cost me $8 to ship these 2 items, I'm gonna put 4 and 4. So as long as these individual lines add up to the total for the transaction, you're good. So that's how you log a bundle sale. Okay, so now that we've logged sales and you'll kind of get comfortable with it as you do it, what do you do when you have a refund? A buyer returns an item and you refund them for the payment. Let's take this example right here. Let's pick the women's Merrell shoes. The buyer got them and they ordered on January 11th. They got the shoes a week later and they're like, hey, tried them on, they don't fit. Can I return them? You offer returns, so you're gonna take a return on this. So whenever you wanna log a refund for a return, you only need 4 pieces of information, and we're going to put this in the sales tab, just the same as logging a sale, the same place, but a different way. So you're going to put the year in here. You're going to then put the month in which you're issuing the refund, not the month in which they bought the item. So we sold it on January 11th, but now it's February 2nd, and I want to put in a refund. So I'm going to put in February. And then you don't have to put in sold date or listed date. You don't have to do anything with that. So you're gonna put the year, the month, and then the item title. So I'm gonna put refund Merrell shoes. You kind of describe how you wanna do that. So you can put women's in here if that's what you wanna do, whatever helps you remember what the refund is for. And then you're gonna go all the way over to this column right here, refund, and we're gonna put in the amount that you refunded the buyer, the total amount. So in this example, we collected $57 total, but when you go to refund, specifically if this was on eBay, you go to refund that payment on eBay, eBay's gonna give you a little bit of money back for the fees that you paid. So you don't have to refund the whole $57, you're gonna refund a little less. And depending on whether you give the original shipping back to them or not, you're gonna have less to refund. So let's say that I don't give them the original shipping back. I'm only going to refund this $45, and eBay's going to give me a $350 credit because I'm refunding. So I'm going to put in the total amount that it shows on my screen when I go to give this refund. So whenever you give the refund, eBay tells you, here's the total we're taking out of your funds. You're going to put that number in here in this column as a negative number. So in this case, I'm putting in $41.50 as a refund. That's how you log a refund. Year, month, title, and refund. That's all you need. Okay, now's the fun part. We've entered in all the things that we could enter. Now we get to see how this trickles into the rest of the sheet. So let's click over to the Day tab. The Day tab is going to show you how much money you made in sales total, so sale price plus shipping on any given day of the year. So 2024 sales, you're gonna find the month and the day that you are on, and you'll see how much you made. So remember, we had a sale on January 11th, $57, there it is. We had a sale on January 22nd for $15, there it is. And we had a sale on February 1st for $25 total dollars, and there it is. And then it will tell you at the bottom your total sum for the month. So far, according to this example, we've got $72 total in January, $25 in February. Now keep in mind, this isn't accounting for refunds. This is just purely what's the total amount of money you've brought into the business. You probably also want to know how much did you make in a set month. So we go over to the month tab, and you'll start to see those numbers populate here. You've got a bunch of different numbers and stats, and you've got some fun charts to keep track of your growth. So for January, we had 2 sales, a total of $72 total, and you'll notice a bunch of other numbers here as well. So average sales price, what's the average sales price, the ASP for those 2 units? $36. You've got sales per day. This will go up as the month continues to drag on. It's low right now because we've only logged 2 sales. It's basically taking your total sales for the month and dividing it by the number of days in that month, just to give you an idea of how much you make every day in sales. All right, your total profit is gonna take the total profit, so the money you made after the fees. So for the month of January, in those 2 sales, we've made a total of $37.40 profit. And then you've got some fun numbers here, profit per unit. So you're making an average of $18.70 per item sold for the month of January. Margin, that's what's the percent, the profit as a percent. And for $72 in sales, you're averaging 52% in profit, meaning almost a little over half of 72 is resulting in 37.40 profit. And then ROI, return on investment, is the amount that you're receiving for money spent. So you spent $10 on the shoes plus $1 on the hat, which totals $11. You spent $11 to get those two items from the thrift store. And that $11 resulted in $37.40 in profit, which is 340%. So it kind of gives you an idea, for every dollar that you spend, you're going to bring back $3.40 in profit. Makes sense? That's ROI. And if not, you can look up ROI on Google and just kind of get an idea if that number is appealing to you. Total refunds, we didn't issue any refunds in January. Remember that refund popped up in February when we got the item back, and that will account for right here, followed by a summation of the total refunds you've given for the year. Total shipping cost, obviously the amount that you've paid in shipping for that month, $16.35 total, and your average between the two items is $8.18. And then you've got, going all the way over to this column, average days to sell. So this is the average for those two units. So if we go back to the sales tab, you'll notice that one unit sold in 80 days, the other unit sold in 82 days, giving us an average of 81 days to sell those two items in January. You'll notice, I'll kind of gloss over these in just a second, but you'll notice inventory growth and decline. This is going to track the amount of items you've listed versus the amount of items you've sold. So at the beginning of each month, you need to put a reminder on your phone if you want to use this tool right here, this column, inventory at the start of the month. I have just a reminder the first day of every month to do this, and I go and do this. You're going to put the total inventory, the total amount of items that you have listed in here. So let's say you've got 100. So on January 1st, I had 100 items listed in all my stores. So I'm going to put 100 in here, and when I do that, sell-through rate starts to populate. So sell-through rate is going to take the total units you sold and divide by the total units you had listed. 2 divided by 100 is 2%. So for January, according to this spreadsheet, I've got a 2% sell-through rate. Typically 20 to 30% is good. 20% would be you're selling a fifth of your inventory every month. 30% would be almost a third. Obviously, if you're up to 50% sell-through rate, that means you're selling half your inventory every month. That's a really good number. So you'll notice that these two columns say manual entry, meaning you need to put numbers in here yourself or it won't calculate those numbers for you. So when I put in this 100 here, it calculated sell-through rate. I need to put in every time I list an item. So what I do is, let's say I listed a batch of 10 items on eBay. I went into inventory. I listed 10 items here that I actually put on eBay. After those 10 items, I'll come here and put that in units listed. So I listed those 10 items. I put a 10 in the column for the month that I listed those. So in January, I listed 10. Let's say that I'm at the end of January. I just listed another item. I'm going to add that one to this. Now I'm at 11 items listed for January. This is going to keep track of the total items that you listed, just to give you an idea. Sometimes I like to look back and see whether I'm on track with other months for how much I'm listing in that specific month. You'll notice that when I put a number here, this number changed. So inventory growth or decline. Am I growing or am I declining? Well, for January, I grew by 9 units. I listed 11, I sold 2, 11 minus 2, I grew by 9 units. This will give you a month-by-month snapshot of what it looks like in your business, followed by sums and totals here at the bottom. Okay, that's the month tab, and you'll kind of get familiar with it. You'll get used to seeing certain numbers, and some numbers will be interesting to you. Some other numbers may not be interesting to you. That's okay. Pick what you want to measure and look at that. When we go to the year tab, this is just a quick glance for the year. So you had your day tab, day to day, month tab, month to month. This is the whole year in account. This will tell you for the year of 2024, so far, you've made $97 in sales. Your total profit for the year is $53.40. your total refunds, okay, and so on and so forth, your total units listed. These numbers are basically pulling from down here. So here's your total sales, here's your total profit, your total refunds, but this gives you a quick way of seeing it without having to scan all the way across that sheet. You can see it all here. Total shipping cost, total cost of goods. This is the total that you spent at thrift stores for items that sold. And then you've got all your averages here. So average sales per month, average sales per day. So for the whole year of 2024, I'm only averaging $8.08 a month. As I continue to put in numbers for the year, this number will go up. Since I've only logged 3 sales, it's really low right now. Average sales price for the year, $32.33. So if I'm looking back on this at the end of 2024, I would say I sold my average sales price per item for across all of my sales was $32.33. And you've got a bunch of different numbers here you can look at. Okay, so that's pretty much the basic tab, how you're going to fill it out, and how you're going to interpret this data. Now, some of you may have purchased 2023's spreadsheet and you're coming to 2024 and you're like, how do I get my information, my inventory into this new sheet? Let me show you real quick. So let's go to this and pretend that this is my 2023 basic sheet and I've got my inventory here that hasn't sold yet. So really simply, this takes a couple of seconds and you're done. So you're gonna go to the very top line. You're gonna click on listed date, scroll all the way over through cost, and if you wanna bring in your notes and XP, you can do that as well. Then you're gonna scroll down to the very bottom line, and then you're gonna copy all of that information. And then you're going to go over to your new sheet. You're gonna click into this first cell at the very top on the inventory tab under listed date, and now I'm going to right click and paste. And you'll notice it will paste in all of my inventory from the previous year, so that when I start listing new inventory, I can just go down to the very bottom line here and start new with new listings. So that's a very simple way. It's simply copy and paste and you're done. Okay, well that's all I have for you. That's the basic tutorial. If you have any questions, please check the FAQ page, and if it's not there, reach out to me. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get more videos helping you with your spreadsheet journey as well as reselling. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate you purchasing this sheet and trusting me, and I look forward to seeing where this takes you. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye.